Hi, I'm David McCormick. I've been practicing divorce and custody law for over 20 years, and with the experience of thousands of clients, I thought it'd be important today to tell you what we do for each divorce case and what are the major issues. There's 11 major issues that we look at and analyze and give you advice on in your divorce agreement. The first is a child custody plan. It's a proposal concerning the primary physical custody of your children, where they're going to be staying, what is the visitation plan, and importantly too is what is the transportation plan. What do we do during the summer breaks, the holiday breaks, the Christmas and Thanksgiving, for example. So we'll take a look at all that. Number two, we're going to look at the financial components of support. We'll do worksheets and guidelines, so we're going to sit down and explain that to you. And the two major areas of support is the child support and the spousal support. So you'll know going forward what you can budget and what you can expect as far as support obligations. Number three, we look at all the marital debt and we put together a marital debt plan. We have to look at all your major bills and all the small bills. That could include house, car payments, utilities, credit cards, furniture, and others. But it's a clear plan and definition of who's paying what, when those payments are going to be due, and what are the obligations. In each marriage, there are assets. That could be personal property, that could be financial assets, but we put together a financial asset distribution plan. We'll take into consideration the portfolio and values of investment accounts, bank accounts, savings, equity in cars, land and homes, and also a description of the larger assets called personal property. We also look at all the insurance concerning medical and dental. We want to know what the premiums and how the divorce may change, the co-pays, the out-of-pocket expenses, and what is the assignment and percentage and which parent will be paying for those. So we'll definitely put that plan together. We'll be looking at a retirement plan as well. During the course of the marriage, one, if not both spouses have earned retirement down the road. That could be a certain amount, and we have to look at the qualification and the valuations and to sort out in your particular case, what does that mean concerning you being compensated if your spouse has most of the retirement value and plans. We also look at the life insurance needs. First, is there present life insurance policies in place, and are they adequate to protect in the case if a spouse dies? This is specific where sometimes we'll require a spouse who has no life insurance to acquire a certain policy. That could be $250,000 as an example, it could be a $500,000. But if you're receiving child and spousal support, we want to protect your interests in the sad scenario where your spouse dies, so you'll have a continuing child and spousal support amount instead of being obligations on spousal support to be life insurance premiums. We'll look at also the attorney fee allocation. Sometimes the divorces, especially if they go through mediation, negotiations, and trial, can be expensive. And if your spouse makes the majority of the income, we'll certainly put together a recommendation concerning what attorney fees would you be reimbursed. Of course, in any marriage, there's so many financial considerations, and one of the major one is just tax repercussions. We need to identify those. We come to put together actually a tax plan. That can include who's paying the taxes going forward, especially the year following a separation or divorce. How about the tax refunds? We want to make sure you have your fair and adequate amount returned back to you at a certain time. Along with the tax consequences, we want to look at the tax exemptions and the tax deductions. And that really applies to the spouse, our client who has a primary physical custody of the children. That could be very, very valuable. We'll look at also the fact on houses, if your home sells or if you have land or equity, there could be tax consequences, but we want to give you sound advice so you can plan on. You know, one of the biggest things in a marriage as far as assets is home ownership. Home ownership, we're going to look at the house, we're going to do an appraisal on the house. We need to look at the monthly obligations going forward. And the other thing we're going to look at buyout provisions concerning that house. And what about the scenario where the house is put up for sale in the market? Who controls the realtor and the amount of the purchase amount and things like that. So that could be several pages in itself, what to do about this house, these obligations, and if there's any equity. Finally, the 11th component is really listening to you and having you provide a written list even before we sit down and talk of what issues are important to you. For example, things I haven't addressed in the first 10 points could be grandparent visitation. They may be special needs, costs and allocations concerning daycare or professional care. So whatever is important to you, it could be large issues, major issues, or the very smallest, but we want to make that as a component in our case evaluation. You know, divorce agreement often is 15 pages, and so we try to have very comprehensive with the best advice and consult concerning that agreement so there won't be future problems as well. So that's part of our work and our evaluation. You know, it'd be an honor and privilege to help you with your divorce and custody case. Remember, you can call us today. I'd like to get to know you, and I think you need to know about our firm a little bit more and about me and what our proposal is in your specific case. Thank you so much, and our consultation is always free. You could give us a call today. Thank you, and have a great day.
Facing divorce or custody issues? What if your spouse hired an attorney that was rated in the top 1% by Martindale-Hubbell, had an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, and was voted top lawyer in coastal Virginia? And what if that attorney had over 20 years of experience and thousands of satisfied clients, offered free consultations, and easy payment plans? Maybe they haven't hired us yet, but you could. McCormick Divorce and Family Law. Great outcomes, extraordinary care. Call or click today.